One Zambia, one nation. Welcome to Zanis News. I'm Alice Banda and my sign language interpreter is John Chulu. Let's take a look at the stories making headlines. President Hichilema engages transporters. Vice President Nalumango calls for peace and unity. Public service workers challenged to engage in livestock farming. Plus, monkeys harvest large portion of maize fields in Katete. And now the news in detail. We start Zanis News with an item from the Copperbelt province, where President Hakainde Hichilema has today met with the Freight and Passenger Transport Association to dialogue on various issues affecting the transport and logistics sector. President Hichilema held an engagement with the industry players at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium in Dola district of Copperbelt province. The players included freight transporters, freight drivers, associations and unions, and public passengers transporters associations and unions. Wupe Sendwe has more in the following report.
Transportation and logistics are essential drivers of the national economy and development, as they enable businesses to access new markets, reduce costs, and improve efficiency. However, just like any other industry, players in the transport and logistics sector in Zambia are facing challenges that require government intervention.
Hearing the drivers complaining about better conditions of service, this and that, is because of these shortcomings. No business, no rate adjustment. At the end of the day, transporters are waiting. As I stand here, hundreds of transporters are waiting from the outcome of this engagement.
An issue of piracy in this country. Contravening by police. We've got issues where unregistered vehicles operate as the transport operators for people and goods. Even
Hakainde Hichilema found time from his busy working visit to the Copperbelt province to have an engagement with the freight and passenger transporters, whom he assured of government commitment to address their challenges.
It's our duty to hear people out. So I am committing to you that as a bare minimum, you will receive support from your government to address these issues.
Thank you.
That's a bare minimum. That's a bare minimum. Let me also be clear. In the whole of this process, as in other sectors, Zambians will receive favor from this government, because only here you can receive favor. Nowhere else you can be treated better. What do I mean? Availability of transport in the mines, elsewhere. I've listened to you. Favor will be given to the Zambian transport owners.
Responding to the concerns, Transport and Logistics Minister Frank Tayali revealed some interventions being put in place.
We take time to try and interrogate some of the ministries. That will be key in directly solving those particular issues. And that, obviously, what is important, even as you have laid down in very clear and unequivocal way the issues to His Excellency, will still need to break down into smaller groups where specific ministries will need to sit down with the leadership of the associations.
The focus that you're all seeing on developing the roads into the neighboring country. Already, tomorrow, His Excellency will be commissioning the road.
The meeting was indeed a ray of hope to the transport sector.
Talk about safety of your members. I want to make an undertaking here that we are going to give a directive to all the councils, working together with your association to identify free spaces to create truck parks, which truck parks should have the necessary sanitary facilities such as showers, ablution blocks, etc., electricity and running water.
Government emphasizes the important role that local private transporters play in participating in the important sector of our economy.
President for Zanis in Ndola, Copperbelt Province.
And Vice President Mutale Nalumango says close to 10 million people have been adversely affected by the drought that characterized the 2023-2024 farming season. Mrs. Nalumango laments that the drought has badly hit the agriculture sector, posing a threat on the country's food security. She said the farming community was badly hit as it largely depends on rain-fed agriculture. Mrs. Nalumango said this when IFAD Associate Vice President Corporate Services Department Go Wu paid a courtesy call on her. She asked that government is looking to its cooperating partners to supplement efforts of providing relief food. Mrs. Nalumango added that this is the reason government is looking for strategic partners such as IFAD to work with in cushioning the citizens from the impact of climate change. And IFAD Association Vice President Corporate Services Department assured the Zambian government of IFAD support.
Your Excellency, half the country, no rain. Close to 10 million people affected. 9.8 they say, plus, because it's not easy to give a very specific figure. But around 10 million people are affected in our country.
It's also an opportunity for IFAD to stand up, really to stand together with you and to support the people of Zambia to the extent possible, building upon what we have been very proud to work together with your government over the past 4 decades.
Now, Attorney General Mulilo Kabesha has called on legal practitioners from both the private and public sectors to make use of the recently launched Lusaka International Arbitration Center, LIAC, for arbitration and in-dispute settlements. Mr. Kabesha says the move will not only contribute to the growth and development of the legal sector, but also position Zambia as a leading destination for international arbitration. He was speaking during the orientation meeting on LIAC for public lawyers and those in statutory and parastatal bodies.
Dispute resolutions in commercial transactions has been a challenge for legal practitioners in Zambia who had to travel to other countries for issues pertaining to arbitration proceedings. However, the recent opening of the Lusaka International Arbitration Center, LIAC, is a milestone that is set to shift this narrative. Attorney General Mulilo Kabesha, who officiated at the orientation meeting for LIAC for government lawyers and those in statutory and parastatal bodies, called on legal practitioners to support the initiative.
By consolidating arbitration proceedings in Lusaka, we create opportunities for local practitioners to engage in high-stakes international arbitrations, thereby enhancing the expertise and the competitiveness of our legal profession. I urge you, whether in government or in private practice, to prioritize the inclusion of Lusaka as the arbitration seat in our contracts and agreements. Let us seize this opportunity to elevate our legal landscape, promote access to justice, and drive sustainable economic growth.
And LIAC board chairperson Chabuka Kawesha expressed gratitude to government for the support towards the undertaking.
LIAC has been a beneficiary of goodwill and support from various stakeholders in its formative stage. And we continue asking for more support. And today we have been privileged to witness the unequivocal support from the government towards LIAC. We are grateful for this support, which will go a long way in ensuring that LIAC achieves its mandate of accelerating resolution of commercial disputes in this country.
Meanwhile, last President Lungisani Lungu said the LIAC has the ability to contribute to the economic landscape of the country.
Want or don't like law drafting. There is even a more magical way. All you need to say, any dispute surrounding this matter shall be resolved by arbitration at LIAC. Done. Nothing, no more complication. This way, we raise the profile of the country. We complement government's effort to attract more money into this economy. We become more responsive to the needs of this country.
Government has set as policy for dispute resolutions in all commercial agreements where itself or parastatals are a party to nominate the LIAC as the seat of arbitration. Ntazanga Mumba for Zanis in Lusaka.
And in business news, Bank of Zambia Governor Deni Kalialia says the central bank has requested for government support in paying out depositors of the Investrust Bank in possession so as to protect the integrity of the financial sector. Dr. Kalialia was speaking this morning in Lusaka during a press briefing at the Bank of Zambia. Details in the following report.
The Bank of Zambia is mandated with supervisory and regulatory functions of financial institutions in the country. And following the recent possession of the Investrust Bank, the central bank has announced the steps to be taken in protecting depositors.
The Bank of Zambia is very much alive to the concerns of depositors on whether they will have access to their deposits and on the consequences of suddenly not having access to their deposits. This is particularly so as we all have to deal with the consequences of the current devastating drought and its impact across the economy. After taking possession of Investrust, which now the designator has indicated Investrust in possession, we engaged key stakeholders, including the government. This was critical because the very fact that Investrust was insolvent at the time of taking possession meant that they were not in a position to pay off all their depositors. May I now take this opportunity to assure the depositors that their deposits are safe, as the government will provide support to bridge the gap between the assets and liabilities of Investrust in possession. I must mention that this fiscal support is critical in the context of the need to protect the integrity of the financial system and to support other key measures to promote growth and financial inclusion.
And the central bank's deputy governor in charge of operations explains the fate of Investrust Bank and its staff.
Possession. This operation involved us sending staff to each of the 20 branches, including head office, located in 6 provinces. And it involved, I think we had a staff of perhaps 60 people. Over a period of 5 to 6 days, staff verified the monies held by the branches and secured important documents and assets. Investrust Bank in possession staff at the branches were addressed by the Bank of Zambia staff as we took possession, and they have been requested to remain at home whilst the possession proceeds. Where needed, the staff assisted the Bank of Zambia staff, the staff of Investrust that is, assisted the Bank of Zambia staff in their activities, and further guidance will be provided to staff as the possession proceeds. As Governor has indicated, the Bank of Zambia is now preparing a statement of affairs in order for us to establish the full extent of the insolvency of the bank at the time of taking possession. This process entails us examining and validating the bank's financial records and is expected to be completed, all things being equal, in approximately 6 weeks' time.
Shilika Chabalengula for Zanis in Lusaka.
In health news, Health Minister Sylvia Masebo says the government remains resolute to reducing harmful tobacco usage through legislation and international cooperation. Speaking when she opened the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation Partners meeting on tobacco control in Chongwe, the Minister of Health pledged to enact the Tobacco Control Bill to protect the Zambian youths. Details in this report.
In Zambia, tobacco use is a significant public health issue, causing over 7,000 deaths annually and costing the government millions in medical expenses. This is why the government wants to enact the Tobacco Control Bill as an obligation to protect the public from the devastating health, social, economic and environmental consequences of tobacco consumption. The enactment of the bill will also provide guidelines for tobacco products, devices and nicotine inhalant products, including their production, importation and sale. The Minister of Health officiated at the opening of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation Co-Partners Conference on Tobacco Control.
More than 7,000 Zambians die every year because of tobacco-related diseases. And sadly, 60% of these individuals are below the age of 70. So you can see that there is need for individual countries, including Zambia, to put in place practices that reduce harmful use of tobacco. That the government of the Republic of Zambia, under the leadership of His Excellency the President himself, Mr. Hakainde, is resolved to containing the harmful tobacco use through responsive and effective legislation. It is imperative that as a country we implement and enforce a tobacco legislation, a tobacco control law that will make us compliant with not only the international best practices, but also safeguard the health and well-being of our people, especially our children.
Youths from civil society organizations are calling on government to ensure the timely enactment of the bill.
But being under different organizations, all work together to ensure that our voice is united in calling for the enactment of the tobacco control law. Some of the work that we have been privileged to be part of as young people in Zambia is one, I know there are pictures going around. I'll start with the one that is on the screen right now. This was in Chongwe just last month during the Youth Day celebration. We had the privilege of interacting with our Minister of Health, a woman whose dedication to the enactment of the tobacco control law continues to inspire us all as young people in this country.
Earlier, the minister had an engagement with tobacco control focal point persons who highlighted strides made in coordinating tobacco control efforts in accordance with the 4th article of the Framework Convention on Tobacco Control,
which you will have to sit with agriculture, commerce and finance just to finalize at that ministerial level. Otherwise, we received good support from our fellow directors from various ministries. This is where we are.
Audrey Kalenga for Zanis in Chongwe.
We move to Southern Province, where the Zambia Medicine and Medical Supplies Agency, ZAMSA, has supplied medical supplies to all rural health facilities in Gwembe District. Pethias Mtale was there and forwarded this report.
The Zambia Medicine and Medical Supplies Agency, ZAMSA, has distributed medical center kits and other essential drugs to Gwembe District in Southern Province. This development has not only elated members of the public in Gwembe, but the district administration as well.
So with this distribution, those areas are totally covered. And with the availability of the health center kits, I think the stocks of drugs in the district has been very good.
To primary health care, the district is doing fine currently, especially for the month of March, because we received health center kits, which has actually cushioned up the stock status to about 95%.
At Gwembe Hospital Affiliated Health Center, patients told this reporter that whenever they visit this facility, medicine is always available.
Barapa musamu ajirwa zija chojo sa chopandura na mwana baramupa musamu gabo
Gatuhoya kuzvibhadhera atwakati kupenga maningi maka na amansenya ona ni vatu kama mosquito twakarega ikurumwa amansenya so twairumba hurumende iyi.
And ZAMSA Choma Hub manager Jane Banda said the facility is also in receipt of the mop-up products from ZAMSA, which will soon land in health facilities in the province, Gwembe inclusive.
With what we have received mop-up stock, old stock for the province, and the orders are submitted and they are processed from here, and we do the last mile delivery. So,
Pethia Simutali for Zanis News in Gwembe, Southern Province.
The Ministry of Health in Northern Province says it is working with other partners to enhance the delivery of health services in the province. More in the following report.
In its effort to enhance the delivery of healthcare services to the community, the Ministry of Health in Northern Province is partnering with different stakeholders to achieve this feat. This is being done through the construction of health facilities and improving the delivery of health services. In Kasama District, the Ministry of Health, working with its partners, has organized the Provincial Quality Improvement Conference to review the performance of the healthcare services in the province. Northern Province Health Director Dr. Ernest Mutare graced the occasion.
The holding of this conference has been a step-by-step process with an accumulation of key milestones. The province has developed a considerable number of quality improvement projects. I am well informed that around 78 of these projects were submitted that were designed to address the gaps identified in the quest to improve quality health services. The Provincial Health Office, through the QIQA program, has shown this by facilitating the implementation of improvement of methodologies like the 9 steps of the performance improvement approach.
Leah Piri is the United States Aid USAID Momentum Country Leadership Project Provincial Technical Assistant Lead.
With the support of the province, we have seen that people have come to appreciate the concept of QI. And we can also reflect on some indicators. We have seen that in some facilities, indicators have started improving because of the concept and implementation of the QI. So we are very grateful at Momentum to be associated with this important event, and we know that we will continuously implement QI so that our indicators can be okay, and the outcome of the care that we are giving.
Reporting for Zanis in Kasama District, I'm Jafet Munkondia.
We take a break, more stories after.
Zambia Today is a program that keeps you informed on various government policies and programs. Join us every Tuesday at 18 hours on Zanis TV, Topstar Platform, Channel 6 DTT, and 458 DTH. Don't miss.
Welcome back. Now, government has reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring the rights of children are safeguarded and reduce cases on violence against children by 2030. Minister of Community Development and Social Services, Doreen Mwamba, says government has further strengthened the judicial system to protect children. We move to Eastern Province, where members of the public in Chipata District have appreciated the progress the region has recorded in social and economic development as Zambia clocks 60 years. More in the following report.
Zambia's post-independence era was characterized by thriving industries. One of them is the first ever bicycle assembly plant in Chipata in Eastern Province. First Republican President Kenneth Kaunda targeted to promote the transportation sector in the country, and the bicycle became the most valued mode of transport among the local citizenry. This building housed Zambia's first bicycle assembly plant. Today, it is Kavulamungu bargain store, supplying all sorts of merchandise. Zambia used to supply its bicycles to neighboring countries like Malawi and Mozambique. And as the country commemorates its 60th anniversary after having attained independence from Britain, the transportation sector in the eastern region has gained recognition through its transition from bicycles to motorbikes. Members of the public appreciate the progress made in the transportation sector as the country.
In terms of transport, estamos tudo, pois kudara, vantu escondosi ngama taxis na manjinga. My taxi no dula pari njinga, ero njinga hoti slow pari taxi. So mahonda change avine areta, no cheaper nga muntu achoka pa anaenda pa town zapeza kan 10 kwazi.
Wanaenda fast kwa business fast. Kwa kale kaenda kwa fast. Utapa short time wachita hivi soma business enda pasiporo.
And Gatoma Motorcycle Limited is the transport company that is contributing to this change in the transport sector in Eastern Province.
Wherever you are, you need to move from one point to another, you need to have transport. I think most of the people cannot afford to buy vehicles, but the motorbike is affordable. And looking on the price of the fuel, the motorbike, it will be 60 kilometers, 45 kilometers per liter, which is more affordable to all individuals.
This year's Independence Day commemoration themed 60 years strong, honoring our heritage, embracing our future, sums it all when it comes to major developments the country has attained so far. Sylvester Chimba for Zanis in Chipata District.
We take you back to Southern Province. Provincial Permanent Secretary Namani Monze has challenged public service workers to engage in livestock farming in preparation for the planned creation of the beef zone in the region. Mr. Monze was speaking when a team from the Public Service Microfinance Company, PSMFC, officials paid a courtesy call on him. Here is a report.
Public service workers in Southern Province have been called upon to venture into livestock farming to be able to contribute to the planned creation of the beef zone in the province. Provincial Permanent Secretary Namani Monze said the public service workers could benefit from the loans and asset financing facilities being offered by the Public Service Microfinance Company for their livestock farming in order to supplement their salaries and prepare for their retirement.
We are establishing what we want to call special economic zones for beef. So what that means is that if all these civil servants can be shown these opportunities, they invest, and we have the license from ZDA, Zambia Development Agency, we think then that even the profits will be good. So for us, this is very interesting. I think what we need to do now is to sit together, package the information. The public workers can also be players. And I like the concept that if people are prepared, they will not bother when their retirement age is coming. And like what we are seeing now, when one is about to retire, they start refusing their age.
To facilitate this, the Public Service Microfinance Company has signed a memorandum of understanding with Shafro Farms in Namwala for the provision of beef cows to public service workers who apply for livestock facility funding.
Shall be now the hub of exporting to the entire Zambia the animals. This side we're also going to steal knowledge from Mr. Lankanza, because we need that success also to wrap off all the entire nation. Then we are sure that the livestock, I think the chairperson has already mentioned up there, look, I think if we can get from him what we need, I think the knowledge, then Zambia will be a better place and will be a beautiful place.
Farm CEO Alan Nahanja says his farm is ready to provide over 4,500 cows under the MOU for applicants countrywide.
We're ready to supply ingombe countrywide, Zambia I would say. Kumba muntu Zambia ngombe sha beef. We're ready to supply. Arimu ndilibambira kupama all my types yangu. Ndijisi pure animals and macrosses. Ndigisonze na muntu wayo wamaningi uweza ma pure breed ingadampa macross hose ndibambire
Sarah Miti reporting for Zanis.
The Zambia Police, working in collaboration with the Road Traffic and Safety Agency RATSA, have joined hands in educating road users on road safety. Rachel Zimba has the details.
Chipata Police Department has teamed up with Zambian Road Safety Agency RATSA to tackle road safety in the area. The Chipata Police Department has launched a compliance campaign to ensure riders are licensed and their motorbikes are registered.
We have been working with the RATSA, who have also embarked on a compliance campaign aimed at helping these riders to get their riding licenses and have their motorcycles registered. And so far, a total of 276 motorbike riders have been impounded and released after complying with the requirements of rider license insurance owners.
With the rise of motorbikes operating in Chipata, RATSA is working with stakeholders to promote safe motorbike usage.
We have observed that some of the riders are still unlicensed. They still ride on the public roads without acquiring a driver's license, and then they overload their motorbikes. They do not obey traffic rules and regulations. If you drive around town on the traffic lights there, they disregard that. They'll just pass and then they don't even use helmets. So those are the biggest challenges that we face with motorbike riders.
Despite having challenges, RATSA has seen a positive trend with an increase in vehicle registration, particularly motorbikes.
We've actually seen an increase in the number of motorbikes being registered. Just in the first quarter of this year, we registered a total of 913 motor vehicles, and out of that number, 657 are motorbikes. So that is about slightly over 70% of what we registered are motorbikes. So that actually goes to speak to the interventions that we actually put in to ensure that there's compliance.
Meanwhile, Chipata Police Department and RATSA are committed to creating a secure environment for all road users, focusing on riders' responsibility and safety. Rachel Zimba reporting for Zanis News in Chipata District.
A West Bay and pavers worth 2.6 million kwacha have been constructed at Chilenje Market in Lusaka using Constituency Development Fund. Lusaka Province Minister Sheo Muliata, who officiated at the handover ceremony, called on traders to guard the infrastructure jealously. More in the following report.
The Enhanced Constituency Development Fund, CDF, has continued to have a positive impact on constituencies countrywide. Traders in Chilenje Market, right in the heart of Kawata constituency, are among the beneficiaries of CDF. A waste bay and pavers worth a total amount of 2.6 million kwacha have been constructed at the market under CDF.
That have been allocated to that contractor. We are happy with the works that have done here. We can see the works are very smart, and that's what we need. Contractors who are very committed, who are finishing on time. Not yakutati contractor wanampasa cheat na manja kalikuaya waya. Na manja kalikuaya waya. Vantu wama dandaula. Isetufuna contractor achitanchito ya smart mongai on time.
This is what the people of Kawata were yearning, to see real development. And this real development is actually touching and changing the lives of many people in Kawata constituency.
Traders at the facility are happy with the construction of the infrastructure.
But road bapanga. Surrounding the market, road bapanga, mapevas vaika, tiamikira koposa.
However, some marketeers complained that vendors are being allowed to trade outside the facility.
Ma vendors bakachoke mumuja. Once it's better ababwa market, bazigulisira market. Ndaba bachinga abantu bakwe bati bakulipeve bachita.
Alo yalimo kuti bangenye bakana. Bafuna fast money apita mlodi wa Dobandrama. Apita mlodi wa Dobandrama. Batuta abwele mukati bangenye tigulisire pamozi. Siwafuni.
But Lusaka Province Minister Sheo Muliata assured marketeers that all the vendors will be accommodated inside the market.
Market na iwama. So any market ya wama, abantu bengi.
Mtalakani for Zanis News in Lusaka.
Lusaka District Commissioner Rosa Zulu has disbursed over 2.3 million kwacha to 77 cooperatives in Matero constituency under the 2024 Constituency Development Fund allocation. Rita Silenga brings us more in the following report.
It was a joyful occasion in Matero constituency for 77 cooperatives and clubs who received grants worth over 2.3 million kwacha under the 2024 Constituency Development Fund allocation. Lusaka District Commissioner Rosa Zulu, represented by Lusaka District Administrative Officer Oneojia, has cautioned the beneficiaries against misusing the received funds.
We are handing over a total of 2,328,249 kwacha. We will never get tired of appreciating President Hakainde Hichilema and the UPND government for this model of development and empowerment, which is based on the Constituency Development Fund. This approach has ensured that development and empowerment is equally distributed among all the constituencies across the country over many years.
Matero Member of Parliament Mao Sampa, represented by Mwembeshi Ward Councillor Crispin Gabole, has thanked the government for its continued support to his constituency.
I'd like to say that this year we have increased to 77 grants as compared to last year when we had 70. The process this year has quickened as compared to last time. I think the community can be the witness. This year the process has been a bit shorter and faster. I would like to thank the government of the day and the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, again for the support to our constituency through CDF. This empowerment will go a long way to elevate the living standard of our people in the constituency, especially the women and the youths.
And Bridget Siamasuku, Project Manager for Dreams Initiative Project, appreciated the government on behalf of all the beneficiaries.
Through these businesses, we are going to support some of the efforts that government is intending for the communities of Matero as well as the Republic of Zambia as a whole.
Rita Silenga reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.
Meanwhile, Minister of Community Development has challenged other line government ministries to take advantage of the visit of the UN Special Envoy on Violence Against Children, Najat Mala, to learn from the gaps and ensure that children in Zambia's reach maximize their full potential. Ms. Mwamba said this when Dr. Mala engaged with children at Katombora Reformatory Center. We end the news with a sad story from Eastern Province where monkeys are reportedly destroying crops belonging to farmers along the Katete River in Katete district. The monkeys have so far destroyed a large portion of maize, leading to food insecurity amongst the affected farmers. One of the affected farmers, Kason Sakala, said he has lost all his maize due to monkeys which have been harvesting his farms. Meanwhile, the Department of National Parks and Wildlife in Katete has appealed to farmers to stay calm as the department was doing everything possible to chase away the monkeys from their farms. Katete has been experiencing various episodes of human-animal conflicts ranging from crocodile attacks, lions, and now a troop of monkeys. As we end the news, we have a recap of stories that made headlines. President Hichilema engages transporters. Vice President Nalumango calls for peace and unity. Public service workers challenged to engage in livestock farming. Plus, monkeys harvest large portion of maize fields in Katete. On that note, we end Zanis News. On behalf of the entire Zanis production team, not forgetting my sign language interpreter, John Chulu, I'm Alice Banda saying goodbye and God bless you.